Hi everyone, this is Nona from thealignlover.com. I decided to finally get in front of the camera to bring you these little insights into style, little tidbits, food for thought. And since this is food for thought, I thought what better way to start than with a metaphor comparing style and food. So I think good style is like being a good chef. One, you need skill. You need to be able to do the most with the ingredients that you have, and two, you need the actual ingredients. You need access to resources. So, very good style looks like a chef who can take even the most simple, basic ingredients, elevate them in numerous ways, but that chef also knows how to identify a strong statement piece, a very high quality, strong ingredient, and let it speak for itself so that there's always a sense of balance. Now, that chef has a signature style. They know what flavors they like, they know what they excel in, what dishes that they love to cook. So they have a sense of regularity. And you can see that reflected in their pantry. They know what they need, they know what they use a lot of. Yes, they have a multitude of seasonings and spices and ingredients, but the bulk of their pantry consists of ingredients that they constantly work with to keep it fresh. And ideally, we take it to an even higher sense of satisfaction, and that chef cooks in a way that satisfies one's constitution, their nature, their daily needs. It's healthy food, it enhances that feeling of liveliness. It doesn't feel like it's too heavy, but it's also substantial enough. It works for the lifestyle in question. Now, the opposite would be like having no skills and no ingredients. So maybe that looks like having a pantry full of only pre-packaged meals or snacks or trendy items that don't really go with other items. Maybe you have a pantry full of statement pieces. That's kind of like having obscure spices, but nothing to put it on. Now, skill, I would say, is the greatest or the most influential aspect of style. You have to develop an eye, you have to develop the ability to pair things, harmonize things, and you need the ability to express what you value outwardly. That's what style is. It's expressing what you value for yourself and what you find pleasing or beautiful or important. So skill is always going to be the main issue. Now, if you feel like you don't have much skill, that's fine because everyone can learn to develop that. It's like learning new recipes, learning new cooking methods, figuring out what works together and what doesn't really taste that good together. And then once you keep doing that, you figure out what you like, and then you have to be realistic. If you are really good at making pasta dishes, but your pantry is only stocked with, say, like barbecue ingredients, what are you doing? You could have the best barbecue ingredients, but if you know how to put together beautiful pastas, then you should be making pastas. But let's say pasta isn't good for your digestive system. Maybe, you don't tolerate gluten very well. Then you need to develop skill in creating dishes, compositions, and outfits that do work for you. So style is obviously not simple. Some people do have an innate sense of style. They know what works for them. They have a very natural sense of color harmony. They see shapes very well. They have a very artistic kind of talent when it comes to style. And that's great, but that can always be developed. So if you like to think about style as your weekly menu, then your monthly menu, and then ultimately style can kind of condense into your heirloom recipes that you can pass down to your friends or future family, whatever. It's very fun to think about. And I think it's more pleasant to compare style to something very joyful, like food, instead of something that is a little sterile or maybe a little bit detached, maybe too clinical. Sometimes people approach style like it's just buying clothes, a list of items that you need to invest in, but then there's no feel, there's no soul in it. And that's fine if you just want a uniform, but if you really want to develop a sense of style, you need to put some devotion into it. You need to put time and effort, care, attention, and patience into the journey, just like cooking. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next video.